Welcome to part 2 of having your teeth out in my braces series. The experience. I thought that having 2 teeth out was pretty bad, but my dentist reassured me that it wasn't actually that bad because one patient that he had to have 6 teeth out just to fit their brace on. I was given the option to have both teeth out on the same day. If you get this option, I'd recommend going against it. Having the 2 appointments meant that I was able to free up one side of my mouth to eat on, which made things considerably easier than when I had both teeth out. Your dentist will shove a needle in your mouth. There's no other way around that because they have to give you local anaesthetic so they can basically rip your teeth out. If you have fine roots on your teeth, they may snap in the procedure. That happened to me on my right hand side. It's nothing really to worry about. My dentist told me, which you should too, that it will be absorbed into the jaw. What they'll do if this happens is they'll take a small x-ray that takes all about a couple of seconds. They'll leave the room, take the x-ray, come back, and you'll be handed a little square that I showed you in the previous video, and then you have to take that to your orthodontist. If your orthodontist is fine with the amount of tooth that's left, then you'll continue on the procedure and you'll get your braces and everything will go ahead. If they're not, then you'll have to undergo a surgical procedure, probably in a hospital, and if that happens, in my case, then we'll go through that together. If it doesn't, I'll find out more to give you some more information. The aftercare. When you leave the dentist, they should give you a small piece of paper or a leaflet that gives you tips of what to do once you've had your teeth out. If you don't receive one of these, you can request one from your dentist. If you do, you may end up with one like I did, which had hardly any information on it, so we ended up using an old one that we already had. This is a bit self-explanatory, but avoid affecting the extraction areas, so poking it with your tongue or with your toothbrush when you're cleaning. The best way to do that is to use a smaller head toothbrush, which I already happen to have one, but if you go buy like a children's toothbrush, they have smaller heads, and that helps you get around the teeth more. And don't go in between the gap where the tooth was, because you will cause it to bleed again. After you've had your teeth out, the gums will bleed. It's going to happen, and the dentist will tell you to put a swab on there for 20 minutes and hold it and press it hard, and that should stop the bleeding. If you're like me and you've suffered with gum disease before or gingivitis, this may not work. Something I found is if you are still dealing with the bleeding after the anaesthetic is worn off, then what you can do is you can rest cold water in your mouth. Do not swill it, because if you swill it, it will just open up the wounds again. But if you let it rest there and just let it fall out of your mouth, don't spit it out, just let it fall out, and do that a couple of times, it should stop the bleeding. Recommended foods. You'll be told by your dentist to only eat soft foods for the first 3 to 5 days. I've come up with a list of things that I ate during my first 3 to 5 days that really helped me. Number 1. For breakfast I found that Weetabix, which was left in milk so it's gone soggy, was soft enough for me to chew without damaging the extraction sites. Number 2. Soup. Everybody loves soup. Well, maybe you don't. But it's something that you'll have to get used to because it is the easiest thing to consume because you don't have to chew it. 3. After the first day or so I found that I could eat pasta and chew very gently on it and try not to jab the bits of pasta in the extraction sites. Then you should be fine and you should be able to start progressing on to bigger foods. 4. Various foods with mash. So I tried things like corned beef, and I even moved up to mince and had a shepherd's pie. But that is only after about the 4th day, because otherwise you could just end up damaging the extraction sites again. On a final note, don't feel beat by the fact that you can't eat normal foods or by the fact that you've had your teeth out. There will always be something that you can eat. It may not seem like it because things will inevitably be hard. You just gotta take your time and persevere through it, really. Right, I'm pretty much done for this video. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments below or contact me somewhere like Twitter. And I'll answer your questions. I can also make another one of these videos if need be, if there's a lot of unanswered questions. That's it. I'll see you on the 29th for when I have my brace on.